I'm gonna have to support this from underneath somehow. If I support it from underneath, then those magnets will work. The thing is that this main hoop has to be rock solid for me to size up the front hoop, the halo, to make those cuts and to do the tacks. That all has to be precision, and this isn't cutting it. So I gotta. That's like my next step. How am I gonna get this thing secure? So I don't know. Let me eyeball this. Wrenches aren't. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. Just drop that. That's pretty well square. It's up too high though. That's the problem. That's down too low. So magnets aren't doing shit. I gotta support it from the bottom, that's all there is. I might have to cut little blocks of wood, which I didn't want to do, but which means I gotta air this tire up. This one tire keeps losing tire pressure, which will tilt the whole thing, which will throw the whole job off. So I don't know. My main thing for tonight was drilling these holes. I got these holes pretty well dead on. I'm happy with them. I think that's all I'm going to do for tonight. So I know I said I was going to sleep, but this is just how I operate. I couldn't, like, when I'm faced with a challenge, I have to figure it out. So I got the truck up on jack stands. The body is solid. You know, it moves around a little bit, but the front end's actually up off the ground. The back end, the axle's on the ground, but the chassis is up. So when I stand inside this, it won't move. That's the whole point of me putting the jack stands underneath of it. From there, I measured from the ground up to the bottom of the roll cage, the main hoop. If you look at the main hoop across the top, it's even all the way across, and I've measured it. We're within an 1/8 of an inch from both sides. I'm happy with its location. What's weird that I'm finding is this side from the ground to the bottom is 15 inches. That side from the ground to the bottom is 15 and a half. I'm guessing it's the way they had cut it. I really don't know, but that's kind of irrelevant. Those outriggers can be welded wherever, as far as I understand. I'm just going to roll with the factory cut on the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my wood shop and I'm going to cut some 4x4s, 15 and 15 and a half, and I'm going to roll with it. I think I'm going to roll with it. Now that I'm saying it, it's like, well, why wouldn't you fix that half-inch difference? You know what I mean? The question is, that half-inch going up, would it affect anything? I guess it's worth looking at. Let me get that piece of metal here and we'll take a look at what's going on here. Here we go. So like I said, this is my brake line, which looks kind of gnarly to begin with. It's bubbly and everything. And then, this is going to kind of go in there. So this is 15 and a half. The other side's up a half an inch. So, man, that's kind of putting me right in that hole right there. I might have to weld a plate to that before I weld this to that. And I'm not so sure I have to get anything thicker than this. I think what I got here might be just fine compared to like what this is made out of. It's like the same stuff. So, I don't know. I have no idea. So, I'd like it to be symmetrical, even on both sides. Does it matter? Really don't know. Really don't know. What is in here? I guess it's just the packaging. So, what do? I guess maybe, do I get that nuts and make both of them 15 and a half and then cut the other side down? I don't know if it matters. The further down this way it is, the easier it is for me to weld. So I'm going to say no. So let me go cut those pieces of wood. We'll set them from here to here. And then, you know, with the jack stands in place, I can get in there and move around without this thing moving. And, you know, maybe we can get the measurement for the main, I keep calling it a main hoop. Get a measurement for the forward hoop, the halo. I call it the halo. It's just easier. That's how I know it. But let me go cut my, I might do them both 15.5 just to make them symmetrical, just to make my life easier. Let me get the tape measure. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's this side. This is the 15.5, which actually is a little taller than that. I do with one hand. Son of a gun. This is why a lot of guys don't record what they do, because of how difficult it is to do with one hand. Okay, so there you go. You see that's 15.5 right there. A little above, I think. Let's go look at the other side. Okay, here we go. I switched hands. So you see that we're right at 15 1/8. So if I was to go up that 1/2 inch, or that, you know, 3/8 of an inch there, it would change the profile inside. So that's where I'm kind of wondering. And of course I'm going off the flatness of my floor here in the shop. I don't even know if that's straight. You know, guys that actually do this have a flat piece of metal they work off of. So I'm assuming this isn't cut right, is what I can assume, that this needs to be cut another 1/2 inch. It's the only thing I can imagine. And then, you know, that would bring me up. That would bring me up even higher, which I don't want to do, really, to be honest with you. I kind of like where it's at. So I'm going to do one. I'll add an extra 1/8 of an inch into each side. So let me go cut those and we'll see where we're at. So I've come out here to my wood shop and realized I took the blade off of my saw. So now I've got to locate my blade and figure out what I've done with it and put it back on. So let me go do that, and then I'll get to cutting some wood. So my original idea was to use 4x4s, which look like this. So they're more stable standing upright, but I don't have any other than this. So I'm going to have to use 2x4s, which look like this. I'm just going to put a screw in the center to put up in the tube, so it you know, it can't walk around too much, but you know, I think it'll be all right for what I'm doing here. Plug this in. Anytime you change a blade on something, unplug it. Do yourself that favor. So now I got to figure out, what did I say? I'm going to add an 1/8 of an inch. So 15 plus an 1/8 is right there. Should be wearing safety glasses. Found them. I forgot to put the fucking thing down. Holy shit. Yeah, I forgot to do that. Okay. So this is the right side. God. And what did I say? 15.5. Plus an 1/8 is right there. See if I can do this without killing myself. There we go, left side. Alright. I don't know why they're off, what they are. So let's go in the garage, and I want to put some screws in these. Put that up in the tubing, and hopefully that'll help us out. It has been a long week. I don't even remember where I left off. I know I made the video where I was recording about, oh, that's right. I put the holes in the floors. I did the 2 holes for the A-pillar, which I don't even know if they're going to be straight, to be honest with you. These guys here. I was at the welding supply shop. So this video I think I recorded like Wednesday, and today's Friday, so a couple days have gone past. That might have been Tuesday. I can't even remember. It's been a long week for me. But the only metal that I had on hand, let me go find it. I'll show you what I got. I'll be right back. So all I have on hand for the outriggers that come off of the frame where the roll cage sits is this like scaly stuff, and you see how thin it is. I went to the metal supply place today and bought this, which is considerably thicker. It doesn't really say how thick it has to be, but I figured, you know, this tubing is fairly, it's schedule 80. It's fairly thick. Now the wheel that's cut this put a burr in here, but if I was to file this off, it's thicker, you know what I mean? So it's thicker than this. So I'm thinking this would be better, which I didn't realize how expensive this stuff is. This tube, which is 9 feet long, was almost $80. And I told him I only needed like 3 feet, and he showed me this was a cutoff. I thought it was like electrical conduit or plumbing pipe came in 8-foot sticks. I was like, yeah, I'll take a stick. Well, a stick in their world comes in 20 feet. And I was like, whoa, no, I don't need that much. So he was getting ready to cut one. He's like, well, I already got this one that was a cutoff from something else. I'll cut it from this. And I was like, well, I'll just take that. And then I saw the bill, and I felt like I was on a tool truck. Like, where'd that come from? But I got that. I got some other goodies from the welding supply shop. I completely destroyed the other one I had like this, so I got a new one of these and got some more of these because I go through these like nothing. And then I bought another cylinder of, well, I did a lease thing, argon. This is the big cylinder. So I think I have like this is a, I think I made a video when I did a review for this welder, what I went through with the cylinder with the company that I got it from, because I'm leasing this from a different company. And this is a little tiny cylinder, and it says I got plenty of pressure on the gauge, but I don't want to run out during this project. And you know, I wanted a new big cylinder like the MIG gas has. So I have plenty of gas, and this company's treating me good as far as the refills. I don't have to spend that much money versus the little. This company here, man, they're on something, man. I'll tell you, they got some money out of me. I wish I would have known beforehand. But anyway, tonight my mission is, and I don't know how much I'm going to get done because it's pretty late and I got to wake up early. But this is like my only free time to do anything. Let me flip you around here. I've got everything to put my transmission together except the shield that goes around the bell housing and the top of the transmission. It's 2 different pieces. I ordered it from Jegs, but I called them today when I got out of work, and it's on back order, and they don't know how long it's going to take to get. So they did have the one that goes over the transmission in stock. They could have sent it by itself. It was like $230 for that. I got the whole kit for like $280, and they were like, well, you can get the other piece by itself when it comes in stock, because for whatever reason that's not in stock. And that was like another $130 or something. So the way that I bought it together was less expensive, but I have to wait. So like I really don't need it, but if that transmission decides to grenade, I really don't want nothing coming through the floor. You know, that's the whole point of that thing. But I have to put the transmission together yet. I got all this work to do to this. I pretty much have everything to get this going except like the fuel lines and transmission cooler. Like the last things. I need to measure stuff. That's why I don't have nothing together. But, you know, I got everything else in the way stopping me from getting all that done. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to start working. We'll fast forward through all this, and we'll see how much of this I can get done. hopefully Sunday I can start painting this thing, because once I start putting paint on everything inside this, I can start hooking up and wiring stuff, and that's to me the fun part, so we can get it running. So let's get to it. So I started out, I got the main hoop sort of in an area that I wanted it to start with. It's level this way and somewhat symmetrical this way. I'm working on the halo here. I'm using some ratchet straps and pieces of wood to kind of get it where I want. My first obstacle is this is kind of running like level this way, but you see how far down it is? I might have to lower the roll cage down, because if I go all the way up here, front and back, like the front will be touching the body, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I want to come down. I'm going to lower it down like an inch, I think. They have maximum, I think maximum was 5 inches over my head, but there's no like minimum. So that'll bring the bar down. You know, if this bar is sitting up here, you know, level with this, that's not a bad thing. And that'll get this bar, I don't know. But that's my first obstacle. I'm going to have to take this back down and cut, like I said, I think about an inch I'm going to take off of it. One side is off by half an inch anyway. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I'm going to make everything more even. I haven't cut anything yet. These kits are like a cut to fit deal, and I don't know if, I think I showed this before. I keep forgetting. I bought a tubing notcher. This isn't the best quality one, but it's something. It's something. Instead of me sitting here with a grinder trying to get everything to fit. So that's where I'm at with this. I think I'm going to cut this down about another inch, and then we'll resize the halo to that. As soon as I get all that figured out and I get this, you know, tack welded to this, then I'm going to move on to the front bars here. And I was going to do a lot of, like, you know, where I just fast forward through what I'm doing. But I think anybody who's watching this would be more interested in how I did it, not just to see me do it, you know. So that's it. I'm going to take this halo or the main hoop out, and I'm going to trim it down like I just said to where it's lower than this. It said in the book I think you had to be an inch or inch and a half away from your headliner, or at least a minimum of. So my headliner would be against this anyway, so, you know, it won't hurt to come down a little bit. So let me do that and we'll see what we got. So I was going to slide the Blazer forward and just use the floor in the shop, and I realized the Blazer was up on jack stands to do all this work. So I brought it in here, and I figured I'd use my tile to help me measure. And I'm looking at this. I thought this was a half an inch. I got this straight across on this tile mark. Now that's not saying all this tile is completely even. It looks fairly even, but this is, you know, that's about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch. 1/8 of an, no, half an inch. I don't freaking know. Start at the 5 there. It's about half an inch. It's about, so it's like 1/4 of an inch off. I don't know. It's not off as much as I thought it was. But I'm just going to lob off 1.5 inches on both sides to drop it down. We'll put it back in and see where we're at. So I brought it in here just to see how bad it was, but I don't think we're as bad off as I thought. So let me cut these off. I'll get it back in the Blazer. So there we go. I decided to go 1 inch because you can always cut more off. It's harder to add more to it. So I was going to go 1.5 inches. I'm going to try this 1 inch. I took 1 inch off of both sides. There you can see the true thickness of that. Remember I was talking about how it looks thicker, but that's because when they cut this, it leaves a lip inside. But weapon of choice was just a regular grinder with a cutoff wheel. I go to Home Depot sells these. and I get these 4.5 inch. They're just the thin blades. They wear down really quick, so if you're doing a project like this, buy a couple packs. Don't be cheap, and don't get the ones from Harbor Freight. As soon as you touch metal with the Harbor Freight ones, they go to nothing. There's I don't know. They're not as strong as a brand name. This I don't even know what brand this is. Aveni Pro. I've used, of course, DeWalt makes them. They're pretty good. I think that's mainly what I've been using is DeWalt. I try to get DeWalt whenever I can. I think this was one of Harbor Freight's best, but anyway, that's my choice of what I like to use. So I'm going to put this back in here, set it all back up, get it squared up, and then we're going to see if it's changed anything as far as how it looks for the halo there. So let me get this in the truck. So this worked out pretty well. I took 1 inch off. And where this is going to connect to here, it's like pretty well spot on. Now what I've got to do, I got this like center to center, you know, to where it's going to be in that same, it's not on the straight part, it's like right here on both sides. So now what I got to do, I don't have a protractor or an angle finder or nothing, which trust me, I looked at like Tractor Supply on Walmart. They had the magnetic angle finder for like finding pinion pitch, like the one that works off of gravity. It would not work in this situation, so I didn't pick it up. But right now I've got to figure out how to do this without that. So first thing I'm gonna do, this is silver Sharpie. Let me switch hands because I'm actually left-handed. I'm going to just put like arbitrary marks here, right? Let me move over. So the first thing I want to do with these marks is kind of measure off of the body or something how, I don't know, it looks pretty well centered, but what I need to do is like the pipe is like at this angle, right? So we're going to make a mark here, and then we're going to make a mark here, right? I'm going to do that on both sides. Same thing over here. Sorry for this terrible camera work. So same thing, we're like this. What this is representing is how I'm going to cut the notch in this. So same thing about here, and then about here. That should represent that. Next we got to figure out like the angle of it, right? So I got all this. I was propping the halo up on the wood, hoping that would help me. So you see this angle? It's at like this angle. So this is the angle the tube's coming in, but I have to cut it straight, right? So I'm gonna come back here, and because I want to cut the least amount off. I don't want to cut all the way back like an inch. I want to just like I want to barely come out here. If I can do that on both sides, that'd be good. So I started off in the center. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So you see, it's going to be taking up a lot in here. So I'm going to come up here again. Going to come back. It's going to be like this. Oh, that hurts. And then I'm going to put a mark. This is my bottom. Hopefully that'll make sense. Of course, once I get this jigged up in the device, all my marks might not mean a whole lot to me at that point. So I'm going to notch these with that tubing notcher I got from Amazon, and we're going to see how bad it is. Here's the cap. All right, let me get this thing down and get it over there and start cutting on it. So here we go. Here's one line that I made. The other one's in here. So you can see that's like this. That's that first angle. This one's the same way. Got a line here. So this is like this. So that's the angle that I have to go. That's not going to be the problem. The problem is cutting this. And then, like I said, this is the very bottom. So it's upside down right now. So let me get this contraption. Another thing I got to figure out with this, I did a test tubes to see how it cuts. Let me grab that tube. I'll show you what's going on with it. So here it is. I tried it just to see what it was like. And you see how it's not quite centered. It's off center. That notcher is meant for different sizes. And what they don't take in consideration is like the height of this thing, I'm imagining. I really don't know. I don't know what happened or why it's like that. I'm gonna jig this up in there and take another look at it and see what's going on before I continue, because I don't want to cut these all crooked. I want them to be symmetrical and not off the one side, because that's what happened here. So let me set all this up and we'll take another look at it. So here it is. I'm taking a good look at this thing, and see, it left a bunch here and cut that. So this needs to come up. I think if I put washers between this jig and the base plate, let me do like, I'll find some washers. I'll put one washer between there, and I'll take another cut on this. This will be my guinea pig here, I think, because I want to get this right before I cut on, you know, what needs to count, you know what I mean? At least give it my best try. That's all I can do. So let me find some washers. I'll put this back together, and so what was this, 35 degrees, and we'll see what I can do here. So I buy these are Dorman. I get these from like AutoZone. These are 5/16 like grade 8 washers. I stacked 2 of them up, and that gave me a space here, so that raised hopefully this up more even with this. So I'm going to try this. I figured this time I'll just let the camera go. You can see, in case nobody's ever used one of these before, this is my first time using something like this. When I used to have something on my finger, a big floor model drill press was something similar to this, but it wasn't. This device was different. It wasn't as cheap as this is. It held the tube better. But this is my first time using something like this. So I'm going to put this all jigged back up. I'm going to put you on the camera on the stand here, and you can see how this thing functions, because I think after it's all said and done, some people might want to know how this thing even works. There you go. So let me get started here. Of course, I got junk everywhere, but you know, whatever. Pretty much want to cut this same cut again. But see if I can get it straight. That went the wrong way. I'm really high now. Well, let's see, this isn't tight. That brought it the wrong way. Okay, I see what's got to happen. This has to come up. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Okay. Let me get the camera here. I'll show you what I'm seeing. Okay, sorry about that. Get my flashlight. So I got this set up again. Here you go. You can see. So I've raised this up. You can see I went the wrong direction. Or did I? No, I don't think I did. I went too much. It's hard to tell. Let me take a fresh bite off of this and see what it looks like. I think that was it. That's more symmetrical. You see what it did when this thing loosened up, it kicked and let the thing come back. So I'm either going to have to drill bigger holes in this. That's kind of shitty, but that's it right there. I'm happy with that. So I don't know if I should fix this. I'm a little impatient. I don't want to fix this right now. Save that for the weekend. I don't know. I'm happy with that. That's a good see if I can do this without the thing falling apart on me. Yeah, that's good and symmetrical. I know the camera can't pick much of this up, but alright, anyway, fix that. Okay, let me cut these. I'm going to deal with this thing, and I don't want to bore anybody to death. I just wanted to show that how I spaced this out 2 washers thick. I don't know how thick it is. I didn't measure it. How many, you know, sixteenths or thousandths or whatever. But that's how I fixed this thing. This thing's obviously a piece of crap. There's a reason it was 60 bucks. I don't believe that this is stripped out. The block, that's crazy. I'll probably wind up drilling it bigger and putting like an American thread in there. Something more coarse, something bigger. So that's it. All right, let me turn the camera off, cut these, and turn the camera back on when I got it up here fitting it in place. So this is the setup. I've got my angle here this way, and then this was a little weird for me to figure out, but you know, I drew that line. It's about like this, trying to make it parallel. It's kind of hard because I made it like an arch, so it was hard to figure out what I did here. But I don't know. I hope that's it. Anyway, I'm going to cut through that. You can see where it's starting. It's taken a little bit off. And then where I'm ending up is going to be up in this area. So hopefully that's it. And then I got to do it upside down over here, which is a little frustrating for me because I can't do it. You know, if I do this over here, it'll be coming this direction. That's not how I want it, I don't think. No, it's going to be coming from this direction. So I got to flip it around, spin it around, do all that. But let me cut this and we'll see what it looks like. I guess that's good. I don't know. Well, let me take this all apart and we'll see what it looks like. Okay. I keep forgetting it's not going straight across. So let me do the other side.